What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been officially announced that Black Ops 7 is having its worldwide reveal on August 19th at Gamescom. And with that, I think it's time for us to start talking about our expectations for Black Ops 7. What changes need to be made? Because we can be honest with ourselves. The vibes around Call of Duty right now are bad. They are not good. People are not excited for this franchise. I know that some people want to say it's a loud minority of players. I think there is a much larger group of players that are dissatisfied with the current state of Call of Duty than just some loud minority that you think we're all a part of. There's more than you think. I'm just going to say that. So with that being said, I want to do something a little bit more fun today. I want to start this video off with asking you guys what you think is missing from Call of Duty right now. What is it that you would like to add to the Call of Duty formula? What do you think really needs to be done to make Black Ops 7 a great game? Because that's, I think, what we're all looking for here. We're all looking for Black Ops 7 to be great, to capitalize on the potential that Black Ops 6 had, to finally do something a little bit different with this franchise and not alienate so many players from the get-go. We want to see Call of Duty grow instead of shrink. And unfortunately, I think Call of Duty has done a lot more shrinking than growing. It's having a tough time retaining new players the way they used to, and they are pushing away old players. There's no denying that. So what can be done? What is it that is missing? Let me know with a comment down below, and let's dive into my thoughts. I'll start things off with something very broad. Identity. Modern day Call of Duty doesn't have an identity. It doesn't know what it wants to be. And this has been said many times in many different ways, but it's true. There's no cohesion in the current iteration of Call of Duty, and it's suffering as a result. There was something distinct about older games. There was a reason why other games tried to emulate Call of Duty, and now it feels like Call of Duty is just trying to chase trends to make a quick buck instead of trying to establish themselves as a franchise to emulate. Now, I'm not arguing here that we need to go to a milsim identity. It's not about that. It's about choosing a path that makes sense, that is consistent, so that it's not jarring when you have all these different crossovers from other games that don't fit the art style and don't fit what you're trying to be. Like, look at what Call of Duty tries to tell with their seasonal storytelling. I know most of you guys skip the cutscenes, but they're trying to tell an extension of the campaign through their seasonal launches. And yet, it's really hard to take that seriously when you're also doubling down on animals, TV characters, animated characters, this, that, or the other thing, and it just all becomes a very big jumbled mess of nothing. Call of Duty is trying to do too much while also committing to nothing. They're not committing to a direction. And this is why I continue to say this. If they want to commit to being over the top, then they have to do it in every element of their gameplay. Instead of just allowing the cosmetics to be over the top, allow everything to be over the top. Weapons, maps, campaign, everything. But no, only the cosmetics are this way, and that's it. Makes for a very jarring experience. Pulls you right out when it comes to immersion. It doesn't suck you in. And it's something that I'd like to see changed. Just be consistent. And while we're speaking about consistency, let's talk about player experience. And I want to focus on two main things here: connection and matchmaking. Right now, because connections are so inconsistent, along with a matchmaking algorithm that is so polarizing and clearly rigged, you get, as a player, one of the most inconsistent player experiences. At times, it can feel fantastic and it can play great. While at other times, it feels like you're fighting against a computer. And what I mean by that isn't an AI-controlled character. You're fighting against algorithms that seriously don't want you to succeed, because their algorithms show if you succeed too often, you're less likely to play. So we need to optimize your engagement. and it's a frustrating narrative. Call of Duty needs to let the algorithms do less and let the players do more. Because I'll tell you this, when Call of Duty was at its peak, when games were trying to emulate it in every way, shape, and form, they weren't going after these engagement tactics. They weren't trying to manipulate the game. The servers were better, the hit detection was more consistent, and the matchmaking felt more genuine. And it resonated with players more. What's happening right now is them just racing to try to get as much meaningless engagement as possible instead of trying to get meaningful engagement. And what I mean by that is this. The engagement that Call of Duty is chasing right now is fleeting. The way they go after it is through algorithms and through meaningless events and rewards. Instead of trying to get people addicted to the gameplay, they're getting people addicted to earning things that are meaningless. And once people figure out that the things they're earning are meaningless, they're going to check out. They're going to realize this isn't worth my time. This isn't worth the quote-unquote grind. But back in the day, none of us cared about the grind. It wasn't about getting to max prestige necessarily. It wasn't about getting all of our weapons gold so we could get dark matter. It was just about playing the game and enjoying ourselves on it. We weren't constantly chasing the dragon to try to get the newest thing that the game is offering us that is most likely AI generated. It was about meaningful engagement at that point in time. Getting players addicted to the game itself, not the process in which you earn rewards. So what I'd like to see, what is missing right now from the player experience, most certainly, is that connection consistency and matchmaking consistency. We just don't see it. It feels so artificial now. It feels so much like it's planned when you're going to have a good game, when you're going to be put into a good lobby, and when you're just going to get crushed. It's not fun. But that can summarize a lot of Call of Duty right now, because Call of Duty is lacking a fun factor. A lot of it is just constant chasing after something new to earn or something new to do, instead of just having fun, enjoying the game for what it is. And the game right now itself, when you strip away those engagement tactics, just doesn't feel as impactful as it used to. And this might be my old man yelling at cloud moment. I might be out of touch. The game might not be for me. But when I play older Call of Duties, even this one that you're watching right now, Black Ops Cold War, I feel like the gameplay moments are more impactful. The gunfights are more interesting. Moment to moment, it feels like a game that is actually good, that is focusing on elements like gunplay and kill streaks and map design. Something that Call of Duty just doesn't focus on now because they're too busy chasing engagement at every turn. We have to keep players engaged, and that's why 95% of your player base plays Stakeout 24/7. Of course, that's a hyperbole. I know it's not 95%, but it is a large amount of players because they're constantly chasing the engagement, and that's what's roping them in, not the meaningful and impactful gameplay moments that we all strive for when we were playing Call of Duty back in 2012. I'm sure there's moments we can point to throughout our COD journey that have stuck with us, that we remember. Certain maps, certain gameplay moments, certain achievements. And I just don't feel that modern Call of Duty delivers those because they're not trying to have the players chase those. Instead, it's all about chasing some sort of challenge, some sort of finish line. And I get it that reward is valuable to players. Earning dark matter is great. If you 100% complete Call of Duty's multiplayer, that's awesome. Good for you. But it's a finish line that players chase. And the problem with always chasing a finish line is that once you get there, not a lot is keeping you around. It's over. You're done. Like, I'd love to know the stats on the number of players that completed dark matter and kept up the same amount of engagement with the game. I bet they dropped off because the game doesn't provide that same reward, that same value as it used to. Whereas if you focused on gameplay moments and delivering something memorable and impactful to the player consistently, you don't need those little challenges, or the big challenges, I guess, in this case, to keep these players coming back for more. They're going to continue to chase those impactful gameplay moments. That's what keeps players coming back for more. That's why players continue to play Black Ops 2 even after they achieve Prestige Master. Didn't matter to them that the grind was over. They were chasing the impactful gameplay moments. But with Black Ops 6, I'd argue once you've achieved those challenges, there's not much else to keep you around. Because the game isn't that interesting. It's not that good. And Black Ops 7 needs to focus more on gameplay and less on rewards. That's really the crux of my argument here. Stop chasing engagement the way you're doing it, and instead change your philosophy to be about the player's experience. Which leads me to the last point I'm going to make here. There's probably a lot more that I'm forgetting for this video or that I'm leaving out, but don't worry. There's going to be more to this as time goes on. This isn't going to be the last time we speculate about Black Ops 7, that we talk about what Black Ops 7 needs to have. But we have to talk about events, because the events as they are in Black Ops 6 are an embarrassment. An embarrassment to our time, to our intelligence, and frankly to us as consumers. What Call of Duty has decided to do is dumb everything down and make them as simple as possible, essentially making them pointless, not even worth your time. And that's a big problem. Events should be celebrated. They should be exciting. They should be memorable. There's that word again. Something that's missing from Call of Duty, most certainly, is the fact that it's not memorable anymore. And that's what happens with these events. The events need to be more engaging, not from a reward side, but from a gameplay side. That's a big thing that's missing right now. And I don't know why Call of Duty is so scared to go outside the box with their events. Is it because they're lazy? Is it because they're incompetent? Either way, it comes across like they don't care. And that's a big theme for Black Ops 6, is that they just simply don't care. Maybe they're too focused on Black Ops 7. But you need to make these events feel unique in Black Ops 7. If you really want to try to capture the community again, every event needs to feel different than the last one, instead of the exact same rinse and repeat ideas and concepts. It's cool that you got so many awesome crossovers, but come on, do something different with each one. And they just didn't do that. And that's the problem, right? That's where I think a lot of people get frustrated with this game, because they know it should be so much more, but it's just not. And I think that needs to change moving forward. Your player base shouldn't feel like you've checked out as a development team, especially when you still have a few months left in your life cycle. Heck, it's felt that way ever since launch. We've argued that Black Ops 6 has had terrible post-launch support, and it's true. And Black Ops 7 will definitely have to step up their game there. But it won't matter as much if they don't significantly improve things like their identity, the consistency of the game, and the player experience. That's what it comes down to. Post-launch support is one thing, but at launch, if there isn't a cohesive identity, if we don't see improvements to things like connection and matchmaking, it's not going to matter. If the game doesn't feel impactful when you play it, it's not going to resonate with players. It's not going to keep them coming back for more, as much as you want to try to chase meaningless engagement. It's just not going to stand the test of time. It's not going to be a game that's emulated. But more on that in another video. I would just like to finish off this video the same way I started, by asking you guys a simple question. What is missing from Call of Duty? If you didn't answer before, please leave a comment down below in the comment box now. Let me know if you agree with me, or if you disagree with me. Either way, I'd love to hear your input. So that's it for this one. I thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.